Hey, what's up guys, Gary G, Stay Slick Auto Detail here in Fresno, back again. Got another video for you today. So we're gonna do a full detail on this Honda Odyssey here. And what I wanna talk to you about today is detailer liabilities. So what are the things that you can do to avoid liabilities with your customers? So go ahead and stay tuned, we're gonna talk about that today. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe, share this video for your friends. Maybe it'll help somebody out. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is setting expectation. You need to make sure that you talk to your clients about what it is you're doing, what you can do, what you can't do. So the first thing that I do to avoid liability is I have a detail inspection form. It's a vehicle inspection report along with what you're going to give the customer, the price for it, what they can expect and what they cannot expect. You have them sign, put in any notes that you want. This is going to cover yourself in the event that you do the detail and they were saying they were expecting something that did not come with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the condition of this vehicle first while I'm thinking about it. Got a lot of staining on the doors here. Right there, a lot of body oils. These carpets are thrashed. These carpets are tore up. Seats, not much better. All the plastics and whatnot really aren't very bad. And there's not a lot of loose dirt. Not a lot of loose dirt, except for back here where the kids hang out. So that's not really an issue for me. Customer also removed these seats. They're loose in here. I'm gonna take them out to extract them. But as you can see, this is where the bulk of the mess is right here. These back seats aren't too bad. But either way, we're gonna go through, we're gonna extract the stains out of the seats, drill brush it. We're gonna do whatever we can to get those stains out. We are going to extract all those middle seats, get the dirt out, and give it back to our customer as nice as possible. Also, they bought new mats. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those out, let them heat up in the sun. That way, when I'm done, we have to put these down before the middle seats go down. And then it'll look real nice for the customer again. As far as the exterior goes, it's basically a wash and wax. So we're gonna wash it, decon it. I'm gonna throw an iron removal. I'm gonna do clay bar. It needs clay bar. I'm gonna go ahead and wash it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put, I believe, Daddio paint sealant by Shine Supply. That's what I'm gonna use. It should last up to 12 months per Shine Supply. So I'm gonna try that on the paint here and see how it works. This is actually a neighbor of mine. They're 2 streets down. So I'm gonna kind of check in on them and see how it lasts, because I think this is what I'm gonna be offering my customers in my wash and wax service. Moving on. All right, so first things first, we are gonna gather everything that is personal, anything valuable out of every single area in the van. This is another thing that I wanna mention as far as liabilities. If you ever see money, jewelry, anything that could be worth any money, you wanna take every single thing that the customer didn't take beforehand and you want to put it in a bag, set it to the side. I asked the customer to remove any personal items that they wanted ahead of time. That's one of the things that I do, but there's still a good amount of stuff left in there that I set to the side. Okay, so one thing I like to mention is this area here around the screen. This is a sensitive area that you want to be careful with. This is another liability thing. You don't want to steam the screen. You don't want to use anything tough on the screen area. So I'm using a Detail Factory brush, a real soft one, like a makeup brush. Whenever I'm vacuuming, I am dusting into the vacuum with it away from the screen, like this. Also, another area to point out is this right here. This spot right here, you're gonna wanna take a picture of that because we don't want them to say that we did anything as far as steaming, because the color can come off when it gets really hot. So these are things that you wanna point out right here. All right, so another thing that you wanna talk to your customer about is areas of concern. They mentioned all of this, the center area, as being the dirtiest part of the vehicle. So I know for sure that when he comes back, he's gonna look at this. This is gonna be a very important area to him, because this was one of the first areas that he had mentioned was this and then the dirt on the door panels, that kind of stuff, you want to make sure that you really spend your time especially doing those areas, because that's where they're going to look to see if you really did a good job. So that's another way to avoid upset customer liability. So another thing I want to point out is when you're cleaning this kind of carpet, this kind of sharp material, I'm using a stiff brush here, but you want to make sure you be careful and look at the material that you're looking at. If you notice that it's pulling out too much of the fibers to get the dirt out, you want to stop, because that's another liability. You don't want to damage the stuff. This kind of stuff's easy to damage because technically it's low quality. It's like a Velcro. So if you want to lightly, I'm not really putting any pressure, lightly, this tool works really good to get stuff out of this, but you don't want to go any heavier than that, otherwise you might damage it. All right, so vacuuming is done. The whole vehicle has been vacuumed. The back, the seats, this main area in the center, as you saw, bad. So we're still going to extract all of this, steam all of this, all this. Got a lot of work up ahead still.
I want to apologize.
Okay, you heard it. All right, so another potential liability is when you're doing seats, you want to make sure you don't soak them too much, but you want to make sure you get enough. So I make sure I cover every area on the seat like this. You can see how all areas are wet. That's about as far as I go as far as the liquid on the first pass. If I find that it's not enough to get the stains out, after I extract and get as much liquid out, then I'll go again. You don't want to saturate the seats too much. If you do, you could have potential of damaging the foam underneath. right, so right here we're spraying all the plastics down. This is our trusty Super Clean diluted 4-to-1, and it is just melting this stuff. It is the perfect chemical, in my opinion, at least in my arsenal, for really dirty areas like this. This is the same dilution that I use for wheels and tires, and it's strong. That's why I use this dilution on plastics that are heavily soiled like this. Guys, that's it. It's done. This bad boy is done. I hope you benefited from some of those tips that I gave you. Another thing that I want to mention is something that hasn't happened yet because the customer's not here, but make sure your customer goes over every inch of that vehicle, from the front all the way to the back, inside and out. Once they leave, they took it as they took it. Just make sure they're satisfied. Ask them if there's anything that they want you to go over. If there is, don't take it personal. Just do it. Make sure the customer is happy, get paid, and move on. All right, guys, if you like this type of video, please like and subscribe, share. Let me know in the comments if you like this, if there's anything else like this that you would like to know. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We hit 500. We're halfway to 1,000. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. You guys stay slick. Peace.